Yes, we are live. Welcome back, my dear friends. This is another amazing episode of Zero Point Healing Show. This is episode number 45. And in this show, we are going to discuss about how to transform your career and relationships using how to improve your career and relationships using PSYCH-K. And I have with me Magda today from Poland. She is a PSYCH-K certified facilitator. She is also certified in multiple different modalities. Before I go to her, just a short intro about me. I am the founder of Zero Point Healing. Zero Point Healing is a web directory of healers and therapists and facilitators who are transforming this world, who are helping humanity to let go of their pain and suffering, literally, and step into the true power, is what I would like to call it as, because we all have this inner power that we can harness once we step into it. So if you are a healer, therapist, or facilitator yourself, I welcome you to zeropointhealing.com. You can register for free, as well as if you're interested in doing this interview with me, please do contact me. All right. So now I'm going to my guest today. Thank you, Magda. Thank you so much for coming to my show. So tell us a little bit about yourself and all of your beautiful journey through this holistic healing, different modalities that you're certified in.
Yes, thank you for inviting me, and it's great to be here. So to start with my story, I started my journey with energy and spiritual development around 12 years ago. I started to do Tai Chi and Qigong, then I became Tai Chi instructor, and I decided to use some other healing modalities as well, so like Reiki healing. I added nutrition and herbs healing into my practice, and for the last year, I was also working as life coach and mentor. And though I was thinking positive and advising others how to create their lives, how to become stronger and more powerful, there was always this second voice in my head. I had doubts that I can't be truly healthy, or I can't build great relationships with other people, or also the voice that I have to achieve more and more every day and I have to work very hard for it. And at some point I was going through a serious burnout. I had feelings that my life is falling into pieces. I had problems in my romantic relationships. I had problems in my family. I felt my job is nothing that I want to do anymore. And I was also anxious and getting into panic when I was like thinking about the world, about people, about the future in general. At that time, I was always doing two jobs. So I was working as portfolio manager, and I was developing my coaching and healing side. And that put lots of stress on me as well. And all of that, so all that worrying and having conflicts resulted in health issues as well. And I had serious allergy, always some infections. So I was visiting different specialists like Chinese medicine doctors or psychologists, but actually nothing could help me. And even my positive thinking wasn't strong enough to help me. So one night I was sitting on my bed and I literally started like to scream, how can I change it fast? Because I was just fed up of my long process of changing. And I grabbed my telephone. And as you can imagine or think of, the first video that I saw broadcasting on my telephone via YouTube was the interview with Bruce Lipton. So this is the scientist in a new biology field. He was explaining some facts about DNA and how we create our lives. So he was explaining epigenetics. And he also said that the DNA is not creating our biology or our world. He also said that what makes our reality created is our thoughts and our emotions. And that thoughts and emotions trigger our DNA, and that influences what diseases we get or what life we create in general. And he mentioned word PSYCH-K. And that strongly resonated with me. So once I heard it, I just checked on the internet, where can I find it? And 3 minutes after, I booked my first session and my meetings with PSYCH-K. And after that, the next day, my schedule basically organized itself, because it occurred that the travel that I have to make for business and for private reasons are exactly in the place and at the time where I scheduled the sessions. So it was truly amazing. And that was a sign for me that I have to go that path, right? So that's basically the story before PSYCH-K. And when I had my session, everything changed within 3 days. That was super fast and super amazing. I started to like be genuinely happy, smiling to everyone and at everything. I put less effort into my work, and I immediately saw better results. And the relationships that I started to create were stronger and of better quality. So with the closest ones, I had better relationships, and with people who I didn't have much in common, they just simply left from my life. That happened naturally. And also the health issues that I had. So like the allergy and infection started to fade away. And that was truly beautiful. And I knew that I have to continue with PSYCH-K. And I also wanted to share PSYCH-K with others. So that's my story. And I wanted to tell you a little bit about PSYCH-K, what it is. If you have heard about that or haven't, I hope that I will bring something new. So PSYCH-K is energy psychology modality, and it allows you to change the programs of your subconscious mind in a very short time. So scientists say that 95 to 99% of what you think, feel, and act is based on the programs and beliefs you have written in your subconscious mind. And the door to your subconscious mind closes at the age of 6 or 7, and then they open very rarely. So there is not much left for the conscious decisions, as you can imagine. And PSYCH-K is a collection of some tools which are taken from the ancient teachings. And PSYCH-K also uses modern psychology techniques. And joining those two, it allows you to overcome blocks that you have in your mind and allow you to fully use your potential in achieving perfect health or building passionate relationships, having successful career, feeling self-confident, or just feeling happy and fulfilled. On top of that, PSYCH-K deals with traumas, phobias, and stress from the past. So it doesn't matter whether you were stressed about some situation this morning, yesterday, a week after, or whether you have some stress inherited from your parents or ancestors, because now the science proves that we can inherit all the traumas and carry that in our energy bodies. So to add more about stress, imagine that your conscious mind, this logic mind that you use for thinking, speaks to yourself saying, I can do anything, right? So you think positively, you affirmate positively. But in your subconscious mind, there are some programs like, I don't deserve to earn lots of money, or I don't deserve to build passionate relationships. And when those two come together, that I can do anything, which is super positive, and I don't deserve, which is pulling you back, then there is a clash and there is more stress around it. So on one side, many of us, I believe, think positive, but there might be something holding us back. So in majority times, this is that subconscious programming that doesn't allow us to reveal our potential and to achieve what we need. To add more about PSYCH-K, so PSYCH-K uses different modalities, different tools And in PSYCH-K, we use like muscle testing for communicating with the subconscious mind to check whether you have certain belief or you don't have yet. There are also the techniques that put you in the whole brain state, as we call it, meaning that your left hemisphere of the brain is balanced. So the logic thinking, task-oriented side is starting to balance and communicate with the right side, which is like very creative, emotional, and focus on relationships. So they start working together. And also there are some tools for energy focusing on your body. So there is a variety of tools, and during the session, we can use many of them or some of them. Therefore, each session is very personalized, so it is like customized for yourself. And that's also great because your mind picks those tools that it feels comfortable with.
That is beautiful that you went through all of that in a stretch. So I just want to reiterate. So using
Yes.
PSYCH-K, you are changing your subconscious beliefs and changing perceptions. Perceptions can come from any event that has happened in the past. And of course, beliefs, as you said, usually are in our subconscious mind going back to our childhood. And you also mentioned about 6 to 7 years age, the doors to the subconscious mind is shut. I liked that statement a lot. That's the first time I'm hearing that, putting it in that phrase. And of course, talking about Bruce Lipton, I think he is one of the persons who is putting us all in the right track, and one of when I got started as well, it was some of Bruce Lipton and Joe Dispenza and people of this sort, who I should say they are proving the spirituality behind humans using scientific or using science, which is amazing. Now we have a proof from the scientific side that the spiritual side of us is true, which is beautiful. All right, so coming back to let's talk a little bit about the title itself. So it's about how to improve career and relationships. So tell us first of all, what is from your perspective, what is the connection between career and relationships, and tell us how we will be able to heal it with PSYCH-K.
Yeah, so very often I see when I work with my partners, this is how I call people who come for help to me. So when I work with the partners, I see that whenever they have any problem at home, they take it to work, another way around. So whenever there is something not working at their job, they take it back home. And of course, we know that all the life elements, they connect to each other. But I see these days how much people focus on work because of financial reasons or self-development, and on romantic relationships or family time, family life, right? So these two are very, very big elements and very strongly connected, as I see, because we just shift up problems between those two areas very often. So whenever I work with someone who experiences problems with their job, after the session, they also experience improvement in their private area, right? So with families, another way around. So when we improve the romantic relationship or connection between parents and a child, then they are achieving more at work. So that's why I wanted to present this topic from those both areas' perspective.
And how do you personally work with clients? Is it possible that we take both career and relationships in one session and kind of do the work? And how do you see, or how do you work with your clients?
Yes, of course. So so the session with me takes 1 hour and a half. And during the session, we can use different tools. So for example, we can transform the perception about stressful situation in life. And when there are stressful situations in both areas, we can clear both, right? We also can introduce supporting beliefs to your subconscious mind. And if you feel that there is area for work and private relationships, we can also introduce such beliefs. Usually, I recommend to focus on one area. So if we work in area of a job career, then let's focus on this area, like to exhaust it, right? Or if we work on the family area, then better to place more time on this subject. But what I hear from people is like when we improve, let's say, financial matter, then the relationship improve. Or where we work on relationships and love, then the financial matters improve as well. So it's possible to come up with different goal statements during the session, touching on both areas, but we don't need to do that. We can focus on one area, which I find even more beneficial. There is also like another tool called relationship balance in PSYCH-K, and that process was created to improve the understanding and improve relationship between two people, so like life partners or parent and a child, friends or co-workers or whoever you like. And that tool was designed to identify and transfer problems and challenges between those two people. So it's also powerful. We take entire session for that balance, for relationship balance. And after it, what I hear from people is that they improve the entire area in their relationships. And if the relationship is connected with the work, so for example, if these are co-workers, that has also the impact on the way those two people work, right? So there are different approaches, but yes, we can touch on both areas, or we can focus on one, which I usually recommend to focus on one area, but it will have positive benefit on other side as well.
That's nice. So can you give us a little, maybe some examples about the goal statements, because I think that might help the viewers.
Yes.
So from my understanding that I have had few PSYCH-K sessions before. So goal statements are, again, to my viewers, goal statements are positive beliefs that you would like to have in your subconscious mind. And once you have this positive belief, embedded in your subconscious mind, then the negative ones or the limiting ones that you have automatically starts shredding out, and you will get the benefit of the positive belief that's installed in your brain. So PSYCH-K itself, from my explanation, it's a beautiful modality that you can use to install new positive beliefs into your subconscious mind. So tell us a little bit about goal statements, and tell us maybe a few examples about how a goal statement can look like.
Yeah, of course. So the goal statement is just this positive thinking or affirmation you want to have for yourself. So when we get together on the session, you will be asked, what's the ideal scenario for your life? So what do you want to have for yourself? And when we get into the process, right, you can come up with anything that is desired, anything that you feel you need it right now, right? So it's like in the business, like the proper goal statement you create anywhere else has to be like short, meaningful. It has to start with I. It has to be in the present tense, as if you achieved that already, right? So the same rules that we have in affirmations or in business applies here as well, right? So we want to come up with something that is meaningful to yourself, that will create some emotions, but will be also short and like very pointing, right? So the example that I can bring, so it's like, I love myself, or I love myself unconditionally, or every day I achieve my to-do list. So something like that, right? So something that you want to have for yourself. And it's also very personal. because everyone will come up with different affirmations for themselves, right? That depends on where you are in life, what's the situation, and what you want to achieve.
That is nice. So, my dear viewers, with PSYCH-K, we cannot give any demo healing or a group healing because it's really one-on-one session, and the PSYCH-K modality itself consists of multiple different tools that the facilitators use to install these subconscious beliefs, and the subconscious beliefs are unique to each one of us. So I might need different subconscious beliefs, whereas if you are going to a facilitator, you might need a different set of subconscious beliefs that you would like to have, as well as the balances that they use. Balances are, I would call it, the procedures. The procedure with which they install these beliefs also changes. So I guess there's 10 or more balances with PSYCH-K, different procedures, and which procedure is going to be used for each belief also changes depending upon our subconscious mind, and that is determined by the facilitator. They use kinesiology, the muscle testing, in order to find which balance is going to be used for which belief that needs to be installed. So of course we cannot give a demo on that for that reason. So tell us maybe, uh, can you maybe tell us a few of the clients' stories, and what was the issue they came to you for, and what happened during the session, maybe a little bit, and then what happened after the session? What improvement and results did they see?
Yes, I'm happy. I'm happy to share some stories. But before I do that, I would like to say a few more words on that door to the subconsciousness, and explain how come we can work fast with PSYCH-K. Okay, so just a few words about it, because I get many calls from people who are curious about PSYCH-K, but also having doubts. How come this process can be so fast? Because programming one subconscious belief new to your mind takes 5 to 15 minutes sometimes. So that's super fast, right? And it's way faster than the traditional therapies or traditional coaching or personal development. And I understand that as we go through our lifetime, we are taught that we need to work hard, and any change that we can experience in our life will need to take lots of time, right? But we are taught and we experience that through our logic brain, so our conscious mind. And PSYCH-K, as the originator, Rob Williams, explains it. Psi stands for psychology and K stands for key. So it's literally the key to your subconsciousness, to that door that shuts at age 6 or 7. So with PSYCH-K, we can just get into the subconscious area of your mind where all the blocks, all the limiting beliefs, all the programs are stored, right? You can't access this through like traditional development. And when we are in the subconscious area, subconsciousness is 1,000,000 times more powerful and faster than conscious mind. So the change happens faster. And that's great. That, for me, this is amazing, right? And once you get the new belief, that becomes an integral part of yourself. And it's no longer positive thinking or repeating affirmation. It's just new you. And I experience that with every session. So now to share with you some examples of people that I worked with, I will start with some career areas. So one person I worked with had serious family problems and lost a job, right? So we have those two areas of relationship and career. And we did session to clear the stress around the difficult time in his life. And we introduced the supporting beliefs about being happy, supporting his career, and clearing the difficult situation with the partner. And because I stay in contact with people I work with, because I love to hear the wonderful stories they have after the PSYCH-K experience. So from that person, I hear until today, and we did the session a long time ago, but I hear that his life just flows. So he has a job he enjoys, is no longer with his partner, but we have to also remember that we receive what is good for us, right? So not always being at a certain job or being with a certain person is the right for us. But what was wonderful that they split up, but there is no stress around it, and there is no worry around it. So he's happy and amazed that he attracts good situations and very positive people. So that was a beautiful change. The other person I worked with experienced a significant income drop, having difficult times running his business, and was not receiving orders from his clients. And the income drop was so significant, he had to cancel the holiday trip he was planning for some time. And sometime after the session, he was back on track. There was no stress and worry around the situation. He started to get the orders from the clients, and he went on that trip that was initially canceled. So his financial situation improved very much.
That's
Some,
nice. So what would you think, if you remember, were some of the goal statements or the beliefs that helped him? Do you remember how the session was?
Mm-hmm. So I don't want to share individual goal statements because that's very private and intimate element actually, but it was around doing what they love, and about attracting the right projects, and about being successful, right? So I can speak general, but all the goal statements are very individual, very personal. Sometimes it's like a confession, so I want to keep that to themselves, if you don't mind. But well, actually, many people, when they get into the process, very often they say, I want to be happy with what I do. And that happiness, that genuine happiness, starts to attract more money, more clients, better people around themselves. So it's like, this genuine satisfaction and being positive, right? So you don't need to impose positive thinking anymore. You are just positive yourself, right? And that attracts good things already.
That is so nice. So now can we discuss a little bit about other services that you offer? So I see you also do the emotion code and other services. So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so the emotion code is another modality where we work with energy. And with emotion code, we can clear trapped emotion that are stored in your energy body. So any difficult situation you were going through, so either in your previous life or inherited from your ancestors, they may get trapped in your energy field. And that's why sometimes we feel like overloaded, tired, we can't overcome different problems. And with emotion code, when we clear those trapped emotions, because sometimes they're like physically make you heavy, right? So you just become lighter. You have positive emotions, so that high vibrating emotions like love, satisfaction, being happy, right? Being light. And within emotion code, there is one beautiful process that I quite often use, which is clearing the heart wall. So your heart, because it's like very sensitive and very intelligent, whenever we get into the difficult situations, into any issues, especially related to relationships with other people, so because it wants to protect itself and doesn't want to go through similar situation, it creates some layers. And the more layers you have, the worse is your communication. You have more blocks in creating positive relationships or finding a life partner. So once you clear that, you can breathe deeply again, right? So there are no blocks, basically. You're happy, you attract more people, you attract good people, and your communication is way better. right? So therefore, I use that process quite often. The other modality that I often use is Reiki, so it's energy healing. And we started also to do the joint healing meditation on Facebook. So I invite everyone to join our morning routine, 9 a.m. every day. And through that meditation, we're also like clearing any some blocks or designing the life you want to have for yourself. So that's also a nice modality. Though, as I have to say, I find PSYCH-K as the fastest from those that I use.
That is so beautiful. So you are doing online sessions. I know you are in Poland, but
Yes.
Most of your sessions are online. Is it so?
Yes, that's right. And that's also great, right? That with energy psychology, we can do that remotely because we're all connected. We're all in energy field. So it's so easy to get in touch and make the changes.
That is so wonderful. So we are gonna have Magda's link below. But quickly before we end, I really loved the story that you said about doing the session in public. So maybe quickly, do you want to
Yes.
share that?
Yes. So last year I was attending a big congress, and there was a stage, loud music, many people participating. And in this crowd, I met one of the coordinators of the event, and he was absolutely stressed and anxious about some problems that were happening in the back office. So I wasn't thinking very long. I just knew the guy, but I was like, "Do you have 5 minutes? Because we can try and clear that stress you have now." And he agreed, but we didn't have any quiet room, so we decided to do that next to the stage. And I wasn't sure whether that will work, right? Because there was lots of noise and lots of distractions because of people passing by. But we did the stress transformation, or to say correctly, we were transforming the perception about stressful situation in his life. And after 5 minutes, he transformed, and I was also shocked because I didn't know whether that would work with so many distractions, but it did. And it worked so well that after the event, I got a telephone from the person he was working with. And that person asked me or said, "I don't know what you did, but it did so much good to that person that I want you to work with my other team members because it works, and it worked fast." So I was also amazed, but I discovered another level of what that tool is capable of. And it was just great that it helped, and it helped so fast.
Yes, and that's amazing that sitting in a concert and on a stage, on a platform, you're just doing a quick 5 minute session. And I can see it from all the previous interviews that I've had with Psyche facilitators as well. They do it for themselves, and they tell me about the stories. Like they try to write a blog which they weren't able to, and they just did a quick 5 minute Psyche balance on that, and they are able to do it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
PSYCH-K is
Exactly.
just amazing. It's one of the modalities which I haven't been certified in, but I'm waiting to do that. Cannot miss out on
Yes,
PSYCH-K.
not yet.
Yes, thank you so much, Magda. So we are going to have Magda's link somewhere around this video. You can click on that link and book a session with her. And as a beautiful gift, we have a 10% off discount coupon just for watching this video. And the discount coupon code is 0 point. You can, while you're contacting her, you can just tell the coupon code and she's going to give you 10% off on your first booking. All right. Thank you so much. It was a wonderful conversation, and thanks for sharing all that information. That was amazing.
Thank you very much. It was great to be here. So wishing you all the best, and see you soon.
Thank you so much, my dear viewers. I'm going to see you in my next show. But if you're watching this on YouTube, please do click on subscribe and share it with as many people as possible. If you know anybody being in that kind of stressful situation with their relationships or career, please do share this video because this is going to help them. Thank you so much for all your support and I'm going to see you next time. Thank you, Magda. Bye-bye.
Bye.